Hello, welcome back to In Out Delete, the show where we both doing older movies. This is Gino.
This is Robert.
Ricardo.
America.
And Gio.
And we have a special guest today, Meredith Loftus. Hello there.
Hi!
So up until this point, all of us have been editors and like post-production. Meredith is our first producer we've had on this show.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very special.
You make me sound so much cooler than I actually am.
Yeah, it's just the hype. So we asked everybody this. What have you been watching during this quarantine? Give us some highlights.
All right. So as soon as quarantine began, I decided what would be great is to make a list or keep track of everything I've watched during quarantine.
Oh my God.
Quarantine has gone on much longer than I thought it would. So now this list looks excessive. But I guess some of the highlights, you want TV or movie first? Because
both. It doesn't matter.
Makes sense.
Okay. So, TV-wise, I watched the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, which basically was a movie in and of itself. Think it's great. I started watching The Great on Hulu with Nicholas Hoult and Elle Fanning, which it's from the writer who did The Favorite. So it has that same level of humor, and it is so pitch perfect funny. Obviously, I've been watching The Last Dance like most of America at this point.
Except me.
And then I watched the Pride and Prejudice BBC series, which that's like the famous one with Colin Firth, but I prefer the 2005 movie with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadyen. Just hands down. That will be a future podcast episode.
Yeah.
And I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender all in one weekend last weekend, a season a day.
Wow.
So, have any of y'all watched The Legend of Korra?
No.
Okay, I was gonna ask if I should watch it because I've been told I need to, but haven't had the biggest desire to watch it. But it sounds like that's the next thing to do if I'm like so hyped on Avatar: Last Airbender. So
You got plenty of time.
Yeah.
got all the time.
Yeah. I'll give some of my highlights that I watched this week. I watched this movie called The Ritual on Netflix. Yeah, it's a horror movie. Yeah, it came out a few years ago on Netflix. It's actually it's not even just like for a Netflix movie. It's actually a pretty good movie. It's like the Blair Witch Project if it wasn't a found footage movie. Like, so if you want to watch like a horror movie, I highly recommend that one.
I watched one horror movie during quarantine and I will never do it again. It was Midsommar.
Yeah.
No thanks.
The only person I know known was a guy one of the detectives from Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's in it. Anyways, I also watched The Hunt for Red October.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before. It's great. It's fucking
Neither have
amazing.
I.
Yeah. And I am a little embarrassed to admit this, but I watched for the first time Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
What?
Your first time?
My first time. I had never seen it. I put it off until now.
Why?
Because I'm a fucking fucking
what
idiot.
show? You cut out.
That was a good one to watch.
Robert.
I know.
Robert.
Hey, Robert, can you do me a huge favor? Can you sign off, please, and get out of this conversation?
Wait, what show? Wait, what did you watch? You cut out for me.
Into the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man movie.
For every band, there is a moment when they know they have made it. For one band, this is not that moment.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You're a great crowd.
Okay, girls, we need the lane now. And your shoes.
They were 3 small-town girls with big-time dreams.
Who's a rock star? I am.
Who wanted to share their music with the world.
We can't sit around here waiting for it to happen. We are musicians. We should be out there playing music. We do play.
Nobody believed in them.
You know, you suck.
but they believed in themselves.
We're special.
Yeah, special ed.
Is giving the Pussycats the chance of a lifetime.
We'd love for you to sign with Mega Records.
How am I gonna pull this off? I'm a girl from Riverdale. I'm not a rock star.
You gotta believe in yourself.
Things are finally going their way. But between the mania...
Is that Josie?
They're gonna be huge.
The managers...
We decide everything. What's hot and what's not. Welcome to your party.
Who else thinks that Fiona's a freak?
And the media.
We're gonna be on TRL?
Mm-hmm. This may be the toughest gig they've ever played.
Have you noticed that everything has sort of become all about Josie?
Josie.
Josie. Josie.
Josie.
Josie and the Pussycats.
This week, we watched Josie and the Pussycats, starring Rachel Lee Cook, Rosario Dawson, and Tara Reid, and directed by, it's actually a pair of directors, Harry Elfont and Deborah Kaplan.
Ooh.
They actually were also responsible for the movie Can't Hardly Wait, if you remember that movie.
Of course.
In the 90s. Yeah. So, Meredith, you want to tell us a little bit about the movie and then why you subjected us to watching this?
I have so many thoughts. Okay, so I want to do this justice, and I'm going to read the description from Amazon Prime because I think they understand the heart behind this movie. So, listen. For years, the record industries have inserted subliminal messages into music so that they can turn teenagers into brain-dead zombies who do nothing but bye, bye, bye. And not the NSYNC lyrics. Whenever a band or a musician has found out the truth, the record company silences them to keep the truth from coming out. So Wyatt and Fiona from Mega Records, they find this band, Josie, Melody, and Valerie, who are Josie and the Pussycats from Riverdale. They are brought to New York, and within a week, they are the #1 artists in the world. And basically, it is a battle between friendship and consumerism. And the thing is, Josie and the Pussycats came out in 2001 in this era of these great rom-com teen chick flick movies.
Yep.
And out of just kind of the norm, here is this movie that's not necessarily about a guy and a girl getting together, but a band and friendship just taking down the man and the capitalism that has reigned supreme. And that is why this movie is in 100%. It is so good. It says more, I think, about the world today than it did when it came out. And the music is amazing. Like, how can you not be a fan of it? But I'm sure you'll hear all of that. But that's just a brief summation as to Josie and the Pussycats, more than just a movie about an adapted Archie Comics characters coming to life on the big screen.
Oh, that was good.
Right.
So,
Super fangirl.
I think we should start with the people who hadn't seen the movie, which I don't know who here hadn't seen it.
I haven't
All
seen
right,
it.
You want to start, America?
Sure. I think I've heard you guys all talk about this movie before, Robert and you, because of the music, like, and Gio too. That's, I think, the only good thing that I remember hearing about it. Other than that, I expected like just a giant ball of cheese. So I wasn't exactly excited to watch it, but I had a really good time because it was like kind of ridiculous. It was still so funny, and I think like where maybe you guys, I don't know if you guys like that type of humor, but to me it was just funny. Like, it was the way that the characters interacted and just the stuff that people said was just hilarious. So I had a good time. I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Gino, what'd you think?
For
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
So,
I know.
Tread lightly.
I have my key ready right here.
Uh-huh.
So I was watching this movie, right? And I, of course, I
Oh.
felt exactly how America felt, super cheesy. And I'm like, I gotta do this for Meredith because she always brags about it at work. So I'm not gonna lie, man. I watched it. I sat through the whole thing. Did not like some jokes. Laughed at some jokes. But I'm in. I'm gonna say I'm in.
Yay.
It's a low end, almost an out, but something about it pulled me to that end. So we'll talk more about it later.
It's cheesy. It's very somewhat dated, but it's still a fun movie. So I'm in on it.
Okay.
The music is good. My brother actually had the soundtrack to this
cool.
to this movie, so I've heard a bunch of the songs before. I'm like, I had never seen the whole thing through, but just in pieces. And like that, the first song from the beginning, I've actually heard it very recently, only because there's two ska bands, came together and did a cover of it. So I've heard it actually fairly recently.
Was it 2:30?
Yeah, 2:30. And Bite Me Bambi.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually saw them live. Yeah.
But yeah, so as I was listening to them and the song popped up, and so I was like, oh, I know this song. And I love that song. So yeah, man.
All right.
Ding ding ding.
Oh yeah, you might ding.
I already did it. Yeah. Ricardo?
Yeah, the same thing. When I saw it, I remember watching it and thinking it was in the, you know how like it was like in that era, the 2000 era.
Yeah.
And it's picking fun of all the boy bands and everything that was happening at that time.
Yeah.
So when I was watching it at that time, I still felt like, oh, this is funny because it's making fun of it. And now when I look at it, it's like we're making fun of, like, I guess the past, you know? So it's kind of still getting to me. So I'm still enjoying it and I like the music. So I am still in.
Yeah.
Wow,
And with that,
wait, I was gonna say,
what? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say almost like it's so far. It's almost a sweep. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's no secret. I told you guys before. I am an in on this movie. I like this movie. Yeah.
So this is a sweep.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
sweet.
a sweep. Yeah.
First get sweet.
I feel so vindicated right now. I was so afraid. I was gonna be like, oh my gosh, all these people are gonna hate this movie. Here we go. Like, I'm ready for this. But this makes me so happy. So
I mean, I remember watching this when it came out. Like I remember my sister rented it, and I think we liked it because of the type of music that it was, right? Like a punk, band going against like all this popular music.
Pop punk.
Of course,
kind of thing.
yeah, pop punk. So like it spoke to us because that's like the music that we liked. I remember not liking like the campiness like when I was younger. Like that type of humor didn't appeal to me. But I still enjoyed the movie. And we had the soundtrack, I remember, on CD, and we used to listen to it like all the time. I think my sister probably still has the CD to this day. But watching it now, like I appreciate I appreciate the satire a lot more. And so I like the humor a lot more. So it was like a different experience for me watching it this time. And I honestly think it's better than what I remember it being. And yeah, so I really like this movie. And I of course, like I'm in love with Parker Posey, the villain of the movie. Yeah. She's like, I even watched just before we came on, I was watching Scream 3 because she's in Scream 3. And she's so funny. Like her physical comedy is like so. Watch Scream 3. And you'll see like her performance is like it's so good.
She plays the reporter, right?
Yeah, she plays Courtney Cox.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. You're right.
And she's hilarious. She's hilarious in this movie, man.
Yeah.
But like the boy band in the movie, Du jour.
Friendship.
Yeah. And like even the music that they made for that was good and hilarious at the same time. Come on, Backdoor Lover. That's fucking that's hilarious, dude.
Innuendo in this movie. Yeah. There's a lot of innuendo.
There is a lot more inappropriate humor as you're an adult watching it as opposed to a kid. That went straight over my head. But watching it in recent years and again today, I was like, oh yeah, this is totally about anal sex right now.
Hey, but those actors is those actors that we used to see in the past, right?
Yeah. Seth Green, Breckenmeyer,
Dude, they're best friends.
Yeah.
Donald Faison.
Yeah. all those guys are like really. I bet you a lot of like the bickering in the airplane was like improv, like because they're really funny. Like,
Really funny.
yeah.
Breckenmeyer and Seth Green, are the guys behind Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Well, and Breckenmeyer and Donald Faison were in Clueless together, so it's still of that same era, and I love it.
I love the all the meta.
So
humor
many good
in it.
fourth
Yeah,
wall
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the meta humor in it it all works. I think. Like it's like, would you be willing to watch read a comic book or watch a TV show or watch a movie?
Yeah.
And then what? Josie and Pussycats.
Yeah, I was gonna say the subliminal message. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josie and the Pussycats is the best movie. Join the army. That is a T-shirt you can get. Okay, super yucky. They have a bunch of movie memorabilia stuff, and they do have a shirt for Josie and the Pussycats. So. I think I may get that with my next paycheck.
Yeah.
So.
When I was a kid, that was my absolute favorite joke. It made me laugh so hard that Josie and the Pussycats is the best movie ever.
It's always the movie film guy. Is that the movie film guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
As I watched it today, it's really impressive that I think in almost every scene of the movie, in the background, there is product placement.
Yeah.
And they never got approval for any of that. They just did it. Yeah.
That's great.
That's interesting. I mean, I feel like free product placement, I don't know. It's crazy to see Target and Pumas and Abercrombie Finch and all this everywhere. And I'm just kind of like,
Starbucks, Hollister, everything.
Yeah. And I was like, I kind of want a Starbucks now. And then it's like, there's like this little messaging, you know, like when Terry reads like, I want a Big Mac. I'm like, me too.
And it's like, because it was.
Sorry, they like didn't have permission for any of that. Like it was just.
No, they just, so there was a recent Q&A with somebody from comicbook.com that the directors did on Twitter, and apparently they just did it. It wasn't like, at that point, it was just like free publicity. There wasn't any kind of like, there wasn't any legality issues with it. So they got away with it, which nowadays, if they tried to do that, it would be a whole ordeal. So really happy it was a product of 2001.
But it was like the worst movie to watch right now because I was watching it. I was like, oh man, I want Starbucks. And I was like, oh fuck, I can't go anywhere. It's like I can't buy all this stuff that they're selling.
Postmates, fool.
Yeah.
Hey man, just let the joke live, man. Don't kill it. Hey. No, I was saying, like, I think the reason why this movie didn't do well is because, like, probably people didn't appreciate, like, being made fun of, you know? It's like, the only people that liked it were, like, the people like me and you, Ricardo, who hated all that stuff, like, all the popular stuff.
Yeah.
Because even the directors, like, they didn't really go on. Like, they're still working, but, like, they never made, like, an original movie after this.
Yeah.
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 And there's even subliminal messaging for Can't Hardly Wait. Like when Parker Posey is showing like all the government people, like the place where they do all this stuff, like you'll see like some words crawling by. It says Can't Hardly Wait was underrated.
Yes. And you see also blue is the new orange, and then like a couple scenes later everybody's wearing blue. Which I thought was pretty smart. Also, guys, Tara Reid and Carson Daly were engaged when this movie came out.
Were they?
What?
Yeah.
I forgot.
So that whole scene between the two of them, they were in love already. So it makes it even better.
Makes the joke even funnier.
They're not together anymore, right?
No.
Is it because of this movie?
Yeah.
Maybe sucked in that scene.
Since I'm speaking to a lot of people in post-production, what did you think of all of like the transitions and stuff that they did editing wise in the movie?
Oh, with the little fades with the leopard print?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan. But I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be like a little leopard print thingy, like, shush, here we go, next scene.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I love because the whole movie had like a cartoony feel, you know?
It had a music video feel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, it was very much music video, a lot of it to the music, especially since they used a lot of the songs as transitions.
Especially when they were like, whenever they're doing something, they're putting makeup, they're just laughing. It's like, man, it's like a music video over here.
There's like 5 montages in the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was 6 whole days.
You go away.
All right.
Robert, so what's next? What's coming up for next
Yeah,
week?
so next week we're watching. This comes from Instagram from Eric Carrillo. It's My Neighbor Totoro, the Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Can I just say, one, thanks for having me on. Two, thank you for taking my Twitter suggestion for Josie and the Pussycats, and it wasn't just discarded like anything Ernie would say about this. Hi, Ernie. And three, I do think this was a failed opportunity, that this could have been a double feature conversation about Josie and the Pussycats and cats to keep the theme rolling.
So that's actually on me. I actually had a discussion with these guys before.
You did say that.
Yeah, because although I would have loved to have done that, I was thinking of having like a whole month of doing
cats,
like cult. No, cult. I mean, I would. I totally would. I totally fucking would.
Yes.
But I want to do like a whole month of cult movies, you know? And Cats would be one of them. And you're more than welcome to come on to that one so we could talk about it.
Yeah. You're gonna defend Cats?
Oh yes.
Let's do that. That's for a future episode. We have plenty to talk about that, but yeah, that's why I left that one out.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I appreciate the foresight there. Because yes, Cats is worth talking about.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Meredith.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
For suggesting this movie.
For being on.
Meredith has her own podcast. You want to plug it really quick, Meredith?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have a podcast called Fangirl Forum. It's available on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. I post links to it on my Twitter account, which is just my personal one, Meredith Loftus. And it's basically where I have people come on and we fangirl about stuff, argue about things. Usually it's about a specific topic, but sometimes it's more like news oriented based on whatever. And I recently did a Taylor Swift episode, which not usually go into music stuff, but it was actually a lot of fun. So
was it because of Cats?
No, but I consider myself a real Taylor Swift fan now because I have seen her in Cats twice. So eat that, Swifties.
That also makes me a Taylor Swift fan because I've also seen
exactly. You're part of it.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, Meredith. Actually, I don't know why I think you guys were always here all the time, but Meredith, thank you so much.
Yeah, fuck you.
Still feels good to be appreciated.
Yeah.
But
thanks for having me on. I appreciated it. It was fun.
Please, guys, stay safe. Have a great weekend. Memorial Day weekend. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye.